Oh yeah, I need to see that. Welcome to another episode of This Is What We Do.
This is how we do
Oh, I'm sorry.
it.
We can only sing 3 bars. We're done. You're done. Yeah. Stop.
You can just do those shoulders. Is it only 3 bars?
Yes.
And when you say bars, that's not verses.
Welcome to another episode of Diva Court.
Hey, y'all, hey.
I'm your host, Marcia Mignot, and with me is my co-diva,
Dana, a.k.a. Cayenne Fire, or is it Cayenne Pepper?
She don't even know what her name is. How about Smith? We are not responsible for the things we're going to say.
Or do we believe in anything that we say on this show now?
No. You believe what I say. Don't believe what she says.
It's all jokes.
And we are not the owners of any of the topics we're going to talk about.
Or are we liable for when you are in your pillow and you pull it up to your face because you don't want to see nobody?
And you get your violin?
And get your violin because you don't
The
want nobody
teensy one?
to see you crying.
Because this show is for what? Edutainment purposes only.
Stop your crying, heifer. I don't need all that.
I need help.
Somebody help.
Help us. Please don't forget to subscribe.
Subscribe. Yes.
Check us out on Spotify. Google Podcasts. And Apple
Podcast. Yes. And don't forget.
Check us out on YouTube. Every
too.
Wednesday we push out a video. Push for our
Push it
listeners who want to see us because we're divas.
And stop leaving us comments on our personal phones. Just drop the comments.
Yeah, drop your comments online because somebody else might feel the same way you do and they want to comment to you too. So make sure you're commenting. Tell us what you want to hear about. Tell us what you want us to talk about, and we will do it.
Yes.
Okay, maybe, depending on the topic.
Depends.
So, let's start the races.
News alert.
We last episode said, don't leave, Cuomo, don't leave.
Did we say that?
We did.
We said leave Cuomo alone.
Yes, we said leave Cuomo alone, and we didn't want Cuomo to leave. We wanted him to stay. But what did he say this week?
Oops, gotta go.
He said, Cuomo said, no more hoe.
Hoes, no more. Hoes, gotta go.
Cuomo has resigned, listeners. He is out. He said, no thanks. I'll give you 2-week notice, and I'm gone. I'm going to go have a seat somewhere.
What job allows you to resign with 2-week notice?
Of course you get 2-week notice.
It's a difference between committing an alleged criminal offense and giving your job 2-week notice compared to, I'm transitioning on to a different job.
No, it's alleged. You get to give 2-week notice.
It depends on the circumstances.
He did the right thing. He says, I care about the citizens of New York, so I am not going to leave high and dry. It's the mean people that said, I quit. And they walk out. Leave all that work.
Political pundits are saying that because he ain't do a resignation letter, he's leaving it open just in case the tides change. All that has to happen is some big episode happens, like COVID shuts down New York, and everybody looks to Cuomo like, help. We forgive you for messing with the hoes.
Oh, like they did with Clinton. We don't care where you put the cigars. Please come back. Bush is tearing it up.
Come save us. One news cycle of craziness, and he back in there.
He
like,
was a
I
breath
can't leave
of fresh
the people.
air, though. Oh my goodness! During COVID, when you didn't know what to do, where to turn, what to say, what to think, and you were tied into your house like a slave, and you peeped out the windows, and you were scared to go outside, and we didn't have vaccines then, and people were talking about mask, no mask, mask, no mask. And he would come on Sundays and do these little press conferences and say, hey, people, just calm down. He was a voice of reason. What we're doing is we're trying to get our PPE together, and these are the numbers that are dying, and the hospital staff, and we're trying to get the equipment. And he was such a breath of fresh air. Yes, he was. I was not living in New York, but I was watching him, and so were a lot of people across this country watching and listening. His numbers were very, very high. That's why Kofifi got jealous and said, "Give me that microphone."
You know what? There's always someone trying to take a good white man down.
Oh, my word.
Well, you know what? The good white man, it's going to be extinct. You know?
What if Cuomo said to you, "I'm not a white man, I'm a Jew"?
What does that mean?
Oh, okay.
You can be Jewish. Jewish is not a race. Jewish is a religion.
Oh, okay.
It is. It is. Jewish is a religion, not a race.
I swore he was Italian, and most Italians.
Oh, he's Italian?
See, look at you.
That's what I said. What if?
Italians are white.
What if he says I'm Italian?
He's still white.
What if he don't consider himself white?
That's fine, but
what if he identifies?
He could identify being black. Well, y'all say,
hey, the man has been accused. Don't be mad at that man if he identified with being black.
They always try to take a good black man down too.
I think that's what you call transracial.
Yes, that is true. That is true. I just say that where have all the cowboys gone? You know? I mean, how is he supposed to date? Where, if he's always in a political circle and he's attracted to a woman, can you just say, you know what? It's not my thing.
I'm sorry he resigned.
I mean, I wanted him to how many boys felt up on you just playing with you?
No, because I'd knock him out, baby.
Exactly what he
Hey, if that happened to be one, because when he hit the floor, the rest of them would say, "Nope, that girl can fight."
Look, in high school, kids like to be, high school, middle school, they used to
let me tell you
hit you on your butt.
Quiet as it's kept.
He ain't hitting the girls on the butt.
I fought better than the boys did. So they knew. Don't touch her. She will beat you down. Like
I'm just saying, when is he supposed to date? He gonna have to pay a service?
No, let me tell you what he needs to do. He needs to get a disclaimer. It's called a dating disclaimer. Ma'am, please sign here. And
that's sexy.
Of course it's sexy.
And romantic.
It's sexy for him. He'll say, "Look, I've been through a lot, and I'm not going through anything else. All I need now is one more woman to start saying we were dating, and then now we're not. Because I don't like her. I changed my mind. Or she just wasn't good. I tried and I didn't like it. I sampled and it was not good. Next thing I know, she is at CNN with Gloria Allred.
Same attorney.
Same lawyers doing a press conference about how I assaulted her after I left office, and I only resigned so I could do it full time."
So he full-time filling on girls.
He full-time harassing women, allegedly. So I just
So guys can't flirt no more.
No, there's nothing called flirting, which is why I said in episode 16, listeners, go listen to it or go watch it on YouTube. Where are the blurred lines going to change? It needs to be straight, hard, and fast rules. And it cannot be if he approaches me the first time as sexual harassment. Now, touching, whole different ball game.
They said that he was touching girls up under their shirt, allegedly.
Yeah, but that's my thing. If it's touching going on, where are you? Where are the cameras? You understand what I'm saying? I need more. I need evidence other than just words. I mean, even the laws regarding terroristic threats requires corroboration.
So does she have to tape him sexually harassing her in order for it to be, you know?
It's been taped before. And those women are the ones where we don't hear the case because they settle. They shut it down and they say,
or they settle because they were trying to get the money and then they turn back around.
All they wanted was the money. So they're like, I'm just going to settle.
They turn back around and
try to... Oh, you talking about Bill Cosby?
Yes.
I settle and then I come back and get the prison time. Get the money first and then come back and get the prison time. Well, you're probably getting the prison time because you want to get more money.
Oh, she gets more money.
Because think
now
about
you can sue the estate.
You probably could come back. Now that he's been convicted. Well, not anymore. That conviction has been overturned.
That's true.
So that one flew over the cuckoo's nest.
Well, he better go buy a contract with a dating site because these women out here, they finicky. They're very finicky.
Yeah. I don't understand. But I wish he had stayed because I think he was a good governor. I think his resignation is even more evidence of him being a good governor. He didn't do like some people did and said, "I'm still going to run for president. I don't care what y'all heard me say. I don't care how many admissions you hear me say on an audio recording with my voice that I never refuted was not my voice, and somebody else got fired for me saying it from their job. Hello, Bush, poor Billy. Billy had to come back from zero. And Billy got more consequences from that video, and he wasn't the one who said, I grab women. You know what I mean? He was only laughing. And I guess you don't laugh when you hear somebody, depending on who you are. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm laughing.
But I didn't think he should resign. I honestly
You
didn't
don't
think he should
resign?
No, I did not think he should resign. I think that's why he had to come out and do another press sit-down interview and say, I'm not a martyr, and I don't care what people say. I resigned because I wanted to do what's best for my state and for the taxpayers. It's going to be a lot of money that would have had to be spent. I think he was smarter, though. I think he was strategic in his resignation.
Okay.
I don't think he resigned because he felt like he was guilty. I think he resigned because he felt like, I could just come and run again.
I heard that in his press conferences, he was like, I be hugging girls all the time.
He's conceded that. He said, I'm Italian. I kiss men and women. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, for him to admit that he's kissing men is are the men going to come up too?
Yeah, they come
Are we going to include the men in there? People would feel funny, wouldn't they? Isn't that discriminatory? That we would feel weird if it were a group of men that came up and said, Cuomo kissed me, and I think that's sexual harassment. Mm-hmm. That wouldn't even make the news, I don't think.
No.
It's not salacious enough. People just don't believe it because we've been conditioned mentally to think that only women can be sexually harassed.
Yeah, that's true.
And men who are just embarrassed by it. I mean, I'm certain that...
You think he's doing too much talking?
As an attorney, yes. Mm-hmm. As a politician, no. Because that's all they do is talk. In fact, we refer to them as NATO, no action, talk only. Because that's all they do. But as an attorney, as a defense attorney, I'm concerned about a defense attorney both on civil end and on criminal end.
Right.
I'm concerned because the statements he uses, the statements he make can be used against him in court. And a lot of times you're not seeing what could, you have to think ahead. And it's hard to think 3 years from now, 5 years from now. If it happens next week or the week after, you could probably explain it.
What do you think the AG report came back to say? Because Cuomo was like, well, I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to just wait for the AG report to come back. And then the AG report came back, and then he resigned. So what do you think?
I think he was saying, look here, people, due process of law is important to me. And I don't want to resign prior to at least some due process taking place. Mm-hmm. And I agree with that, to have allowed the attorney general to interview who she interviewed. And remember, the level by which she is having her findings is not beyond a reasonable doubt. Mm-hmm. So if you went to prosecute this man, you have a really high burden to prove that he's guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, preponderance of the evidence, clear and convincing evidence, those are lower standards. Those standards are easy to meet. And that's why you'll find that even in a criminal proceedings, when you go to a preliminary hearing and you jump up and you're like, objection, hearsay. Well, hearsay is allowed in a preliminary hearing because the court's trying to figure out, do we have enough evidence to send this case on for further prosecution? So there's certain rules that are bent, for lack of a better word. You're bending the rules. Mm-hmm. You're not really bending them because those are the rules. So you're not bending the rules. It would have to be that the rules are, it's not allowed and the judge is allowing it. That would be bending the rules.
Right.
So in fact, now that I've said that as an attorney, I'm going to clarify. It's not bending the rules. I should not have said that. It really is the rules, and the rules are less at the preliminary stages. And what he is saying is that the rules are less. The attorney general says, I did a preliminary investigation and I believe them. What she's saying is, I believe their statements, but she doesn't have any evidence from his side yet. Okay. So it's still a one-sided investigation.
And probably a good political move for him to step down, because his, components and all the opposition and all the people who are going to come
don't give
against
these people
him,
fodder.
They just want fodder, and I'm pretty sure.
But they said that they're not. They're stopping the process, the impeachment process. So they shut that down. Okay. After he resigned, they said, we're not going to spend taxpayers' money to impeach somebody who's not in office. Right. That doesn't make sense. That's a waste of time and a waste of money.
And so that was a good political move for him.
Absolutely.
Because if he would have got impeached, then he couldn't rerun.
Let me tell you something. They're even, not allegations, but I guess they're allegations because I can't prove them. But there's statements out there that he has a lot of money left in his campaign fund. Mm-hmm. And because he resigned and was not impeached, he can run again.
Okay.
So he could just wait till somebody comes and takes over that position. And if this lieutenant governor, there's a female now who's stepping into his shoes, who's a female lieutenant governor. If she doesn't do a good job and the voters say, we don't like her, you know what I mean?
Do you think the investigation is going to stop now that he's no longer? Because it could have been a political one.
Now it's definitely stopping as it pertains to impeachment. Whether
Well,
they're
about
going to pursue the
criminal
criminal misdemeanor charges, I think that's a waste of time. I mean, they may still try to, let's see what we found. Okay, we didn't find enough to go forward, so that you can appease the people who say you're only not doing anything because he's, rich, or he's a politician, or they are exempt from the laws. And so I'm certain law enforcement is going to be very careful because they're walking a tightrope. They don't want to be accused of not pursuing, criminal charges after an alleged victim came to them and said, could you please investigate this for me? What their parameters are going to be limited by is the law in New York. If the law in New York says the statute of limitations has run, then it's run. You know what I mean? And when they came out and did a press conference that says, we're investigating misdemeanor charges against Governor Cuomo, they probably already know before they made that announcement that the statute of limitations has run. But they still want to look like they're proactive because they received something from an alleged victim asking them to investigate. So an investigation doesn't mean prosecution. An investigation doesn't mean, that we're going forward. It doesn't mean conviction. Yeah. It just means we're looking into this. And sometimes you look into things that you can't pursue.
It might be a whole little ploy where we went through the investigation and we found out that the allegations were false, and now it puts him on this pedestal as
it could help him.
And then it
you
helps
be careful
him.
What you dig up.
Yep, and
you
it
might dig
him,
up dust on yourself.
Become president.
Remember, you could get dirt on your hands when you're digging under dirt.
When you dig a hole,
you better have a garden glove.
When you dig a hole,
but even your gloves still will have dirt on it if you're gardening. So don't forget that. I didn't want him to do it. I didn't want him to resign. I wanted him to stay and fight. But I can understand, hey, he who fights and runs away lives to fight another day. That's what he's saying. And I cannot dispute or refute or disagree with that.
I just, on the less serious note, when you have men who are in industries that they're always going to be in that industry. You know what I'm saying? They're always going to be the top person in that industry, and they're surrounded by the industry, or they're made. You know what I'm saying? And they don't have families and they're single. It's inevitable that they're going to
be at risk. They're going to be at risk.
They're going to be at risk
for allegations. You're always at risk for allegations.
Yeah.
You kind of feel sorry for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're like, I don't feel sorry for abusers. Trust me. Don't get this diva wrong.
Right.
I'm not saying I feel sorry for someone who's abused women, or someone who's assaulted women, or someone who's verbally abusive to women.
Right.
What I'm saying is I would hate to be in a position where I have to constantly walk on eggshells when I'm in the presence of someone of the opposite sex. That just concerns me. And then I don't know if people in the LGBTQ community have that same fear. You know what I'm saying? Like if he were a homosexual male, would he still have to walk on eggshells if he's in the presence of another male by himself? I don't see that yet. I mean, I don't see that Me Too movement picked up yet.
Well, Kevin Spacey may say otherwise. So there's that.
That's my point. My point is, do they walk on eggshells? Do they have to walk on eggshells? Are they comfortable being in a room with someone of the same sex?
I'm not going to speak on the community, but I do believe that they're more free with sexual encounters. You know what I'm saying?
So they're not as offended
by everything. And because it's such a small community in different circles that, it's not, I'm down for anything and everything, but it's like at least a person that you can relate to. You know what I'm saying?
So a compliment doesn't offend them.
It's just like,
oh, that's a nice suit.
Right.
That doesn't cause them to go,
black. It's like being black in corporate America where majority of people are white, but did you see that black homegirl and y'all have that one little chuckle like, hey girl, girl, I had to do these edges, and y'all have a moment. And I think that maybe in the gay community, when you're surrounded by all straight people, you can have a moment with a person of, that is in your community, And whatever your moment is, be it, I'm not saying they slap each other in the butt, but whatever your moment is,
Right.
you connect. So you don't throw that person under the bus. You know what I'm saying? But
it's tough, man.
It's tough.
We gotta come up with some rules though. We've got to have some hard and fast rules because, as I stated in episode 16, I'm a female and I don't know what the rules are. So maybe and the fact that I don't know the rules and I'm a female, that bothers me.
But they forever changing them. Like, there's women who be mad if you open up the door for them.
Yeah, I've seen that. Oh my God, ladies, stop. And then turn around and say, oh my God, did you see him not hold the door? So now he's confused because the one that wanted the door held, he didn't hold it because the last one he held it for said, why are you holding the door? I can get it myself.
Right.
And we got to stop, people. We have got to stop.
It's like, stop being so offensive. It's annoying. It's very annoying.
Yeah. So, Cuomo, we're sorry to see you go, but we know it's not gone forever. We're sure you have plenty of money.
Or you can go chase the hoes without being...
I'm going to need him.
You might have too much money.
I'm going to need him not to chase
You
anybody.
can't get... Listen, you better just get some paid services and call it a day.
Go on a date like you did when you were young and a teenager.
Who he gonna
Take
date?
your parents.
Right. Who he gonna date? Like, every woman...
He's going to have a chaperone.
He has a...
You remember that?
Go.
You remember that? You're going to have a chaperone.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I'm sorry. They're going to have to be here and hear this conversation, but they're coming to dinner with us. Why does this person have to go? Yeah, we're going to get a chaperone. And in fact, it's going to be a female chaperone so that you can't say I brought a male and the male took up for me because he's a man. He's a man. That's why he
was involved in a train.
Yeah. So we're going to use a female chaperone. Cuomo, you need a female chaperone. Cuomo.
Your speech is better than picking up now.
Is that my impediment?
A little bit. It's contagious.
Yes. So take a chaperone with you, sir. Don't go on any dates without that.
No dates.
Now let's talk about dating and schooling and change the topic for a little bit.
Let's talk about it.
We got a story, listeners, where a parent who had a child who tested positive for COVID ended up going to school anyway, 2 days after receiving the positive test. The parent did not quarantine the child. The parent also tested positive.
Right.
Both parents tested positive. The child tested positive, and they sent the child to school anyway. What's your take?
My take is I bet you they was vaccinated.
Take that away and go somewhere and sit down with it.
Can I at least explain why?
I'm going to need a big old explanation on that.
Okay. So the reason why I say that they probably weren't vaccinated is because... Were vaccinated.
Oh, well, get it right, because you just say weren't.
They probably were vaccinated because for them to take the initiative to go get tested for COVID, that's a very responsible thing.
No, somebody got sick and they started getting a fever. And they said, oh, I don't feel well. I better get tested.
So then,
and they went and got tested.
They all went tested.
And found out, because remember, once one person tests positive, the people who test you will start saying, you need to test everybody else that's in the household. So everybody else got tested, because I bet one of the three of them got sick. It might not have been the kid. The kid might have been asymptomatic, and they just sent him to school.
No, but you got to, but they got a positive. But the reason why I say they were vaccinated, because what's out there is that if you're vaccinated and you got COVID, you'll be good. No. And they probably sent her to school. She vaccinated.
Trust
she
me.
got COVID. She good.
Let's get real. People have been sending their sick children to school from day one.
That is true. I didn't send the sick child to school.
Oh, see? Is that a confession?
They be faking.
No, they're not faking. You want to go to work.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait. First of all, you're not going to speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
Yes, I said it.
Child is faking.
Zion be faking like turkey bacon. She be like, oh, mama, I don't feel good. I'm just itching. You itching? You itching? Yeah, it just itches right here. That sounds like we need to get some hypercortisone. You going to school. I say let the nurse tell you.
How about you don't get hypercortisone and you get hydrocortisone?
Well, whatever it is. She got it. It worked. It wasn't even the problem. She went to school, didn't get called by the nurse the next day. She came home. She was good to go. Look, my kids be faking.
I needed you to check the child for a temperature and see what's wrong with the baby.
You know, they be, have you not seen them shows where the kid go and put their head on something warm
so they can get a fever?
Or put the fever,
a fake fever.
Put the temperature
in the hot water.
In the hot water.
And say, look, I'm sick.
Mama, they come to you with it. I'm sick. I send them kids to school, not since COVID, but prior to COVID, I done sent them kids to school. It's
And they
hard
were
to
sick.
tell.
And they
Listen,
were sick.
coming
and
to
did you
you.
get a phone call?
When I used to
Did you
work,
get a phone-
hold on. When I used to work for you,
Oh, you didn't.
and if I would have
you
called
worked
you,
for me?
oh yeah, when I used to
You
work
mean
for
when
you.
you used to play here?
When I used to play.
You get paid to play?
Hey, you gotta come with a doctor's note. Ain't nobody about to go get no doctor's note for no code.
When you got paid to play? Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
when I used to
ma'am.
get paid to play, you're supposed to not send the child
They not sick. They
that's
be lying.
sick to school.
The nurse need to call to say whether or not
That's
they sick.
why elementary schools are like a petri dish, because parents want to go to work and they
Do we want to
sit-
go to work, or do our bosses force us to be there?
No, you
That's
all
exact-
can say.
Oh,
You all
no,
can say.
you a boss. You can't say that. You know
You
how
all
much
can
pressure
say-
it is
Let me tell you
as a black woman where you gotta go
What-
and,
what's not a
and you're a
pressure on a white
single
woman?
mama and you a single mama.
You're not a single mom.
That's not
Stop
the
lying.
point. But I'm speaking for single mamas. You a single mama.
I've
you
never
gotta go to
seen
work.
a single mama or a double mama. Is it a double mama?
But the point is that you need to go to work to get that check. So you do need the money, but then you also know that your
So
boss
stop blaming the boss because you need the
because the
check.
boss be forcing you to be at work. Talk
Look,
about go to the doctor.
you
I
can
ain't got
stay
health
home.
insurance. I ain't about to go to no doctor.
You can stay home. That's what you can do.
No,
Don't
but-
blame the boss.
No.
You know you
The
want to
boss
go to
don't
work.
want you to go.
You
The
wanna
boss
go
don't
to
want
work.
you to stay home.
Let me tell you what the
Maybe
boss don't want you
That's
to do.
you. That's
The
different.
boss don't want you to come make her sick.
No, that's just you.
The boss don't want
That's
your
just you. I
germs
just-
or your kids' germs.
No. That's just you. You a different person. I have worked at places where you can't be sick. There's no sick. There's no such thing.
So bring the germs in the building to make the whole building sick?
That is a common thing.
Wow.
You didn't know that?
COVID is about to shut that down, thank goodness.
I know they are.
COVID says
That's why they said in COVID they said it a lot. Bosses, if they call and say they're sick, allow them to stay home. You know what I'm
do
saying?
you know that there are courts now asking you to provide documentation that you say you have COVID? Courts have opened back up, listeners, and some of the judges are now saying, I don't believe you. You have to send me proof that you tested positive.
That's what I'm saying.
That's crazy, though.
That's because they lying like they're kids.
right.
Oh.
Exactly. There are but that's when
That's
they
where
say,
the kids got it from.
Kids learn to lie from the parents.
Listen. I remember
I'm going to call
back
my
in the
boss
day,
and tell my boss I don't feel well. Those kids hear you?
back in the day, the bosses, it would be
What, you
like,
mean yesterday?
if you're off 3 days in a row, this is at school. If you're off 3 days in a row, you need a doctor's note. But bosses be like, if you're sick on that day, you need to go to the doctor. Well, I'm going to the doctor for a head cold. All I got to do is take some medicine, sleep it off, wake up, and I'm good in the morning.
You don't need a doctor's excuse for one day. You need a doctor's excuse for 3 days.
You used to ask for a doctor's excuse. Don't come back here unless you got a doctor's note.
That's when
I believe that was, don't come back here unless a doctor says you can come back here.
That was prior to COVID. You was not accepting
that's
nobody.
the difference. That's the difference. The difference is, don't come in here and say my boss made me come to work and I was really sick and I'm passed out at work. You're not gonna die here. You die at home. So you misunderstood the motive by which you needed a doctor's excuse. You needed one so you wouldn't die here.
And I'd be like, well, I can't go to the doctor. I'll
Yeah,
be on
you
my
got
way.
to die at your house. And for them to
I'll be
say,
on my way.
I'm sorry, did you make her come to work? Well, the doctor said she was good. I need a doctor's
You know people out
excuse.
here faking doctor's notes just so that they can.
Well, look here. If I have a fake one, I can show a jury I'm good.
You're thinking about the legal ramifications.
Absolutely.
But I'm telling you, you may not
Bring
be
a
one
fake
of
one,
them,
'cause I'ma
but
use
there
it.
are bosses who are like, if you don't have a doctor's note, don't come to work.
The people are thinking about liability, ma'am. They don't know
No, they
what's
thinking
wrong
about
with
you not showing up.
No, they're thinking about
No, that's
another
what-
coworker.
No, no.
Stop for a second. Let me take you to the legal side of the thought process.
Mm-hmm.
You could come in here and make other people sick. And now they're looking at me as the employer to say, when she said she wasn't well, what actions did you take to assure that it was not something that was contagious that could make other individuals who were working for you, some of them with compromise, cancer survivors and asthma addicts and people with allergies, what proof do you have that you were not negligent in assuring that she wasn't going to come back and make everybody else sick?
What I'm telling you is at my job, like before COVID happened, right? I got like a cold before COVID happened. And I don't never take off. And I called my manager and I said, I'm not feeling good. I just want to take off a day. And he was like, well, make sure you bring back a doctor's note when you get here. Like, but in that instance, ain't nobody ever had to ask for a doctor's note. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm telling you that I'm not coming in, and if it's something that takes me one day to get over, then why would I go to the doctor compared to...
Because you're not seeing it from the legal perspective.
They not, but you got to understand, Marsha, you're a lawyer, so you see it. This is just this random 23-year-old who is just, I know that when you you get sick, you need a doctor's note. There's no legal connection. This is nothing that
what
even
if the
owner,
manual that manager got?
Trust me, there ain't no manager. It ain't no manual. It's
no training. There's nobody that owns that.
No,
it's not a real corporation.
Right, because he told the boss.
Why are you working at a free for all?
Because it's fun sometimes. But he told the boss, and the boss like, no, she don't never call off sick. They ask for doctor's notes because they know that people be lying. They know that the people that was working there, they be hung over.
Okay. So
like
you're
that.
at free for all where y'all get drunk, and then lie about being sick the next day. But y'all not really lying if you drink too much and you really are sick.
Right. But the thing is that why would you drink the day before you go back to work? So you should have called
and said, I'm hungover and I'm sick from hanging over. I need a day. You
don't want me to hold on to that flat iron.
I just don't feel well. You shouldn't be saying, I just don't feel well. You shouldn't be saying that.
They would say, get a doctor's note.
No, my point to you is you shouldn't just say I'm not feeling well. I'm hungover.
Or I should have said I'm on my period.
Oh my God, ma'am, could you say cycle?
If you have a male boss, yes. use those exact terms.
Trust me.
Go ahead.
He would stop immediately. Immediately.
However many days you need.
Hey, so what time when you going on that vacation so I can let them know that that's when my cycle starts? How long we going for a week? It's on for a week.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm not feeling good for a week.
Day of. You're
gonna be like, man,
I am cramping.
It's gonna be like,
I think I'm on my menstrual cycle. Usually I can handle this.
Is it Richard Pryor that said that? I'm not doing anything because I'm on my period. He was like, damn, bitch, you gonna bleed to death. You don't remember that? Oh, that was good. That was classic Richard Pryor, listeners.
I'm gonna be.
You gotta go listen to Richard Pryor. He was actually very funny.
I'm gonna be the
you do know that, right?
controller of the show right now, and we're gonna go back to the initial topic at hand because I don't even think we remember.
Yeah, we do. We remember the kids going to school sick and the parents lying, and the kids knowing that the parents are lying, so they lie too. The thermometer's hot. I can't go to school.
She went through the whole summary.
Yeah, because her memory is good.
Hold on. Previously on Diva Court. All right, so. But here's my issue.
Don't send your sick kids to school whether they got COVID or cold.
Not if there is COVID. Don't send your sick kids to school.
Don't send your sick kids to school.
Prior to it, a code is a code.
Don't be so freaking selfish.
Is that selfish?
Yes, because
I got to pay this bill. If I miss one day,
think about how
my check going to be short. Then I won't be able to pay this bill, and then we be out in the streets.
But think about this. My child has a respiratory virus, right? And my child has a compromised immune system. Your child going to get over that cold.
You need to be in a bubble.
Hey, your child...
You need to be in a bubble. Why would you even send... That's selfish, send your child to school in the first place.
Can you design bubble school so I can send my child to your bubble school?
Why are you sending your child out there with these wolves? Hey, you don't know what these nasty ass kids got.
Could you make a bubble school for me, please? Because I'll be sure to enroll my child.
You don't even have to make a bubble. Just put your kid in a bubble.
No, put the bubble school together.
Put the kid in the
bubble.
These
is bubble schools. If you have compromised children, you can send them here. Each child has their own individual bubble, which they sit in.
Quiet as it's kept. That's what they should have did when they sent the kids
Should have done.
No, listen, this is Diva Code. We don't have to be corrected on that.
Oh, is that it? One of us got to be corrected.
That's what they should have done. You must say, I'm about to get my hair done. You don't say, I'm going to get my hair did.
No, I don't did my hair.
Yeah. Well, I don't either because I see that's ghetto. That's ghetto. I don't say that either. But,
do you say, I'm going to get my hoofs and my paws done? Do you say that?
But anyways, yes. So.
Keep your bubble kids. I can't keep my bubble kids.
They have this little shelter thing that's clear.
That they're putting in the schools now.
They should have.
Do you know the doctor said that's worse?
It's worse?
Yes. Oh. Yes. Just this week they said that's worse because the children who are closer to the door where the ventilation is coming from are more at risk and the windows. So they're saying it's making it worse. That it's not helping those children. It's actually worse.
Okay.
So what are we doing? Bubble school.
Bubble school.
So this Diva's gonna create bubble school, and I'm gonna roll my
What
child
that
in her
look
bubble
like?
school.
That means every kid is in the bubble.
That's what I just said.
With the
Good
oxygen.
morning. Get in your bubble, please.
Just sit your bubble.
Sit your bubble down.
Sit your bubble. But okay, so get back on this article. In the article, it writes that the principal said that you can come back if you have your vaccination card or if you
Test
tested
negative.
negative. But again, I feel like people are not being precise enough about how COVID is transmitted. It's like, you know, when they talked about the AIDS epidemic, don't have sex unless you wear a condom, because that substantially decreases your chances of getting AIDS, like what, 90 something, 99%.
High enough.
Very high. It's a very seldom chance. If you're gonna have random sex with people, wear a condom. If you have sex with a person you don't trust, wear a condom. If you have a sex with a person you're not in a committed relationship with, wear a condom. Right? Everybody's safe. It's a clear message. But the COVID message is not clear.
If you don't trust this person, wear a mask. If you don't think they vaccinated, wear a mask. If you get the shot, wear a mask.
If you're around random
If you're
people,
going to be around random people, wear a mask. If
That
you're in a
makes
crowded
sense.
room, wear a mask. Why people can't relate to that, but they can relate to the condom?
right, but they're But the thing is that when the principal states, if you have your vaccination card, you can come back to school, or if you've been vaccinated, or if you've been, if you got a positive test negative, you can come back to school.
Your school gonna be a
It's still
positive?
too subjective. It's still too subjective.
It's not subjective.
It is, because
It's no
you can have your
different
vaccination
from-
card, don't get tested, and because you got your card, you can still go. They're not saying wear a mask.
Let me ask you a
They're
question.
not saying wait.
So are you saying what the school should have said is everybody got to wear a mask, I don't care what?
Exactly.
And bring your vaccine and
Right, if
bring
you
your
choose
negative
to-
test.
Right, no, not necessarily bring your vaccination card, but if you are impacted by COVID, bring your negative test, wear a mask. Those who choose to be vaccinated, that's great. Those who don't
Still
want to
need
be
to wear a mask.
vaccinated, whatever, still wear a mask and bring us your COVID
So
test.
your position then is that the article is not clear.
No, the
And if-
principle is not clear.
No, but the article was written by somebody else.
I know,
other
but the
than
reason
principal.
why I'm saying the principle.
And remember, articles don't say everything the principal
That is
said.
true.
So the principal could have said, and you got to wear your mask, and the article kept it out. Because, you know, salacious
That
is
is
what
true.
we like.
But-
we like ambiguity.
But what I'm saying is that even the media is not making it clear. That's why COVID numbers shot up, because when Joe
that's
Biden
not why.
said,
That's not why.
when Joe
They
Biden
shot up because they assumed, when we're dealing with a brand
when
new
you-
disease, that if you got the shot, you were less likely to spread the disease.
right, but that's
They
the
were
problem.
wrong, because
it's
guess
wrong.
what? But we just started it.
But here's my thing. You didn't take your mask off when some random man who's the president got voted in by idiots said, hey, you don't have to wear your mask no more. He's not even a doctor. You didn't take your mask off. I didn't take my mask off. I'm not going to say, oh, so yesterday I had to wear a mask, but today I don't? That's
Ma'am,
stupid.
listen to this. There are people who they're telling
You
to
see
wear
how I
the
got
mask.
all
No,
emotional?
no, you didn't. You didn't. You got
Go
crazy cool.
I don't even know what the...
Crazy cool.
yes.
It's different from emotional.
Okay, go ahead.
My point is this. They're telling people wear the mask, and people are fighting and rioting and picketing and yelling at medical staff as if they created the disease. I say you go to China, to the lab where they created it, and go over there and riot. Get on a flight without your mask, head over to China,
And hang
and
out
go
there.
riot over there. Because your anger is directed at the wrong people. My point is they are telling people to put it on.
But what
Put it back on. We thought. We don't know. This is new. We're
Right.
learning. But people don't hear we're learning. This is new. We've never had this before. Uncharted territory.
No, but that's not what they're saying. What they're saying is, all right, they on whatever date. All right, now that we got half of the people vaccinated, if you're vaccinated, you can take your mask off indoors, okay?
Let me tell you, that was politically motivated.
I know,
though.
but that's the problem. That's why the message isn't clear, because the numbers are going up because everything is political. Then a couple of months later, numbers rise up. You know what? If it wasn't for those unvaccinated people who was out there not wearing their masks and passing around the COVID, so now we got to all put our masks on again. And now we're all putting our masks on again. When the problem is, if you have COVID, you don't wear a mask, no matter if you're vaccinated or you're unvaccinated, you can spread it. Everybody needs to be masked up, period. point blank. And that is what the
So,
message
do
should
you
be.
remember that when you're coming into an election year, you have politicians that get a microphone? You would have to have them run in secret. Put your name on a ballot, shut your mouth, and we'll decide who you are. We're going to research your education. We're going to research how you voted while you were in office, if you were in office before. If you weren't in office before, we just roll the dice because we don't really know how you're going to rule when you get up there. But you cannot speak. You cannot address the public. You cannot tell us where you are on positions. That's not going to work. The politicians have the louder voice because they have a platform. The medical providers who are going to the hospital every single day and laying people on their bellies and watching them die and putting them on ventilators don't have a platform. And the 3 minutes that we give them, when we sit down to interview them, they say the things they're supposed to say, and we don't hear that snippet. We don't hear it from the people who we're supposed to be hearing it from. And that's the problem is, are you going to muzzle the people who don't want to wear a mask or muzzle the people who are hypocritical? Because I'm telling you, some of these politicians who are telling people you don't have to muzzle your kids, you don't have to muzzle, they're putting their mask on, but they're doing it in secret. That's hypocrisy at a level that's ridiculous.
I understand that. But what I'm saying is that when you're the president and you tell somebody that if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask, even though you're learning. But I wasn't that dumb. It's just like the bleach thing. To me, it's the same exact thing. It's the same. If you drink the bleach, you can kill COVID. If you don't wear your mask and you're vaccinated, you'll be fine.
No, you can't compare
To me,
those.
it's the same.
No, it's not the same.
It's the same.
No, it's not the same.
It's the same.
Because it's reasonable to believe that a vaccine that was created by Pfizer that went through all the proper procedures could have kept the spread from happening.
But how is that? But how does that even make sense when they do the flu vaccination every year and you can still get the flu?
But at least that one lasts a year. This is brand.
But they don't.
Let me tell you something. First of all,
But that's the point.
Was
It's
the
brand new. You trusting if they can't get the flu vaccination right. And,
No, but
and,
the
and they
pressure.
didn't say. But the thing is that
it's
pressure.
better for you to say
integrity.
Biden should not have broken under pressure,
There
and
you
then we
go.
wouldn't have situations like this where parents are pushing their kids into a school, even though they 2 days before tested positive. It's better for you to say he should not have broke under pressure.
Right.
Because remember, that was the man that was wearing a mask even when there was no vaccine. And when everybody was saying, take your mask off. And Kofifi went to the hospital, got life flighted, and came back and did a pose on the balcony saying, look at me, Superman. I don't wear a mask. You see what I'm saying? That's irresponsible. When his entire detail was testing positive, people were getting sick, and some of them were dying. That's irresponsible. So there's a difference between breaking under pressure and saying something that you would prefer not to have said until the numbers come out.
But the
He
thing,
broke under pressure because people was like,
I'm
why are
not
you
so-
telling people that they still have to wear a mask, President Biden, when they are vaccinated? Stop
but
that.
see, and that's the problem. No doctor has ever. That's when he says no doctor has ever said that this COVID vaccination will eradicate COVID. They didn't say that.
That's because it's like it can't work solo. So the thought process behind it was, all right, y'all crazy people don't want to wear a mask. If y'all get vaccinated,
At least you
and
won't die.
everybody else get out here gets vaccinated. Like if we were at 80% by now, we wouldn't have any spikes. So they're saying, you don't want to wear a mask, go get vaccinated, and you don't have to wear a mask no more. That's the incentive. Let's get ourselves to 80%, and you don't have to wear a mask no more, because guess what? All we're dealing with is the 20% of people who might go fill up hospital beds.
But see,
And that's fine with us.
and that is not what he said. That makes more sense than what he said. If you got vaccinated, you can take your mask off outdoors. Then 2 weeks later, if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear your mask indoors. So that is the problem, because you're the president. You can't just say stuff.
Well, they're still working on the same data. So the initial data comes out,
Right.
and
And
everybody
says, "We're
who's
good.
going out
We're
is
good."
people who are vaccinated. Do you
Yeah, I've
understand
been
what I'm
out
trying
in
to say?
these
So all
streets.
the number comes
yeah,
out.
Stop lying.
I know. If I
Sesame
outside,
Street don't count.
I've been outside in the streets. I've never taken my mask off in public places. I don't play that.
I don't
No,
play
that's
it
what
either. I don't
they're
play it
saying.
either.
So
But that's
everyone is
because you're
smart enough, and the
responsible.
numbers come out and say, well, it's not spreading because everybody's going out,
Right.
and And then all the people who see everybody else with no mask
Took
don't
theirs
want
off
to get a
too.
vaccine
Took theirs
said,
off too.
"Oh, let me take this off."
Yeah, they won't know the difference.
Yeah,
Because you wouldn't
know.
have people trying to make up fake vaccine cards if they
I
weren't
understand
lying.
that.
If they
I
weren't
understand
lying.
that.
So they wanted to do what people who are vaccinated were doing when they didn't want to do what people who are vaccinated had to do
the
to
country,
be able to do it.
It's very 1 + 1 =
No,
2.
let me tell you what the problem
country
is.
is
You
very
politicize
divided.
something that is science.
Exactly. So
And when you politicize science, God help you. That's why you got to be careful who you vote for.
But that's what
when
I'm saying.
that man
If you
came down that escalator that day, I had no clue America was that dumb.
Listen, because it's already politicized, and you know you're in a political climate, and it's not about the science, it's about the politics. 50%, we're split 50-50. 50% of people are vaccinated. The other 50 aren't. 50% of people are the Democrats. The other 50 are the Republicans. And a small number, whatever percentage, subtract to get 48,
Those are
47
flipper-floppers.
are flipper-floppers, right? So with that being said, the majority of the Republican people who have that real tight eye, they're not going to get vaccinated. So when you tell people to take their masks off, they're like, hey, I'm about to be down with the crowd. They'll never know.
No, but they put a disclaimer on it. They put a disclaimer on it. They said, don't take it off if you're not vaccinated.
Right, but
they're not listening.
But the thing,
So
they
one
don't.
of the ignorance things of the Democrats, you would say, is that they would believe that you would care about being alive.
Right. Right.
Where
But they didn't know the common
that-
sense was not common because it wasn't at Walmart on shelf aisle number 21.
Well, you know, if you
it's not in the
fast
liquor
track,
section either.
If you've been to government, if the government is not known for being proactive in helping people, they're reactive in everything, and their history is more reactive. Oh, we shouldn't have slavery because I guess it's not good. Oh, we should have not taken the land from the Indians. I guess that wasn't good. Oh, we shouldn't have gave black people not give them the cure for syphilis. I guess that wasn't good. Oh, we shouldn't have if you always been like this for years and years and years, why do you think people are going to trust the government when you fast tracked a vaccination that hasn't officially been stamped by the FDA? It has been temporarily stamped, but if they've been working on this vaccination for all these years, which people say they've been working on it for 10 years, then why did the FDA
Not true.
approve it?
Not true. That's false. That's
That they weren't
that's
working on the
mischaracterization. No. What they were working on is science is
something like
always is always occurring. You understand? And what they're doing in labs and these scientists are doing is they're testing to see, hey, if we had this happen, what would we do if it? So science is trying to be proactive as it pertains to the human
But not
race.
American government.
Well, they're included in it. You understand? So the
'Cause they
problem
give
you
them the
have,
money.
yeah, that's where they're getting the money. So,
And then they started trying to use it in Africa first when nobody had it.
well,
So
here's
that's why I don't trust it.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem, though. The problem is that the vaccine, they were not working on a COVID-19 vaccine. So
Right.
let's stop that game, right? Because if we believe that this was something created in a lab, you understand what
Which
I'm saying? If we believe, okay, that this was something created in a lab, then we know that they were not working on a COVID vaccine. Unless there's a conspiracy theory that Pfizer, Moderna, and all these vaccine companies were saying, hey, you know what? We are going to put it out there because we've been working on an injection and we plan on, let's see if we can go to China. Think about how far this conspiracy
Well, no,
went.
but
Hold on, let me finish. Let me finish the conspiracy. We're going to work on it, and then we're going to get a lab in China to go ahead and get that disease and start spreading it. And then we can sell as many vaccines as we can.
Okay, so this is
Are you crazy?
okay.
Like,
So
what are you
so
smoking?
here's the thing. The lab that was where in Wuhan was an American-based lab, and they do bioweapons. So I don't think that they were releasing it. I think that this was something that was created, and with bioweapons, for everything that you make to be a weapon, you also create a vaccination for
I
them.
think you have it wrong. I don't think it was a bioweapon. I think people are confusing what research is actually going on across.
Well, maybe
this
it wasn't
globe.
a bioweapon. Maybe it was a weapon.
Well, here's the thing. We've had a client. I've had a client that
Uh-huh.
works. He's a scientist and he works at the CDC. And what he says to me is, he says, "Look, scientists are working on solutions to things that y'all are just going about your business, not
they
really
create.
realizing. No. That y'all are not realizing could be a problem for you. So, for example, we know that a fly can carry a certain disease, a communicable disease, and we know that if a fly gets on this communicable disease, gets on food, that it can spread, and human to human spread can occur. So what we do as scientists is we try to come up with solutions for things that hasn't happened yet. Therefore, when we're doing research, we have labs that are so sealed that we're in a special hazmat suit. It's closed off, it's airtight. When we work in it and we're leaving it, we have to leave it in stages. So we have to come out of that room, take off the clothing in another room, go to another room where we're cleaned off properly, and we have to make sure that we've left all of whatever that disease is or that product is that we were working on to try to come up with the cure, because we have to play with it in order to be able to get rid of it.
Right.
And then we go through all the safety measures, we clean off, and then we come out, right? Mm-hmm. If we get a scientist or an employee working in those type of secure labs, and he says to get in those labs, you got to have all kinds of clearance.
Security.
What?
Mm-hmm.
It's tight. He says to get into those settings or to get into those environments, you have to have a certain clearance. But if we get an employee who is not careful enough to go through the training and the safety measures, and they get that disease out in the regular, we have a problem. Mm-hmm. We have to shut down even that unit, that building, that we have to do a lot. Mm-hmm. Those things, as the regular everyday American people, y'all are not hearing about.
Right.
And also some of those labs where we know where it's so dangerous, which I think is selfish, it's happening outside of the country.
Exactly.
Such as in China. But let me tell you why it's happening in China. Because we don't want it happening in DeKalb next to your house.
Those are facts.
Because we know that if there's an outbreak or if it escapes we're killing Americans. Mm-hmm. So we should be thankful on a certain level to third world countries or to a country like China that they're willing to allow our country to come to their country and expose their citizens while they test to come up with cures for things that helps us.
And that's why China said that it was the Americans who did
No, they're probably saying it's the Americans because they're saying it's your lab.
It's your lab.
It's your lab. We let you come here to do this testing so that you can come up with stuff that we hope to benefit from too.
Right.
Because we got 1 billion folk walking around here. And because we're trying to protect our people too.
And because they're a communist country and they can tell somebody where they can and cannot go, it gives them
Don't come over here. We have the power and the authority. Americans don't listen because we have freedom to do whatever we want to do.
I don't have to wear my mask.
I'm not muzzling my face.
What do you think? This is America where we're free.
My point. So I get back to the story of your kids are coming into school.
But can we go back to the fact that that's how we got out?
No,
while they're making those things, they're making the
the conspiracy theorists take it and twist it as if there was this whole conspiracy to go over there and create a disorder to make people sick, to kill everybody, and that's not it. There was good intentions in the testing that's occurring by scientists and testing to see, hey, we got to recreate it in the lab and see. Okay, so we recreate it. We got to see if we can kill it again. All right, we create it and we kill it. We create it and we kill it. We got a cure. And how long does this cure last? The problem with the vaccine is they have not had sufficient time from the time they got the emergency approval to use it. They don't even have approval yet to use it below 12.
Right.
So what they're saying is, no, we can't give it to the babies because we don't know if it's going to cause more harm to the babies than catching COVID would cause to the babies. I respect that. Mm-hmm. The problem, though, is the moron that think there's a pizza joint where Hillary Clinton and the Democratic Party is in the basement killing and raping kids. You understand what I'm saying?
Grab a hold
the Q theory and grabs a hold to a part of this story, and boom, they're off to the internet.
Right.
And foreign countries are capitalizing on our ignorance and some of our freedom, because you can say it if you want to say it, you can do it if you want to do it, and nobody can check you, boo. That's why I say that leads right into my next story. Dominion.
Oh,
who gonna check your boo?
We was finished with
we
COVID?
was done with them kids. Stop sending your sick kids to school.
Right.
Stop sending your children that tested positive to school. Tell your boss you are a germy and you have germs and you are not going to bring your germs into the building. But to transition from the you can free to say what you want to say, land of the home, land of the free, home of the brave.
Exactly.
Not free to say whatever you want to say.
No,
you cannot recklessly defame people.
Right.
So the judge in the federal proceedings, the Dominion case against Powell, Lindell, and the die. Should I call him the,
The
die?
die.
The die.
The fly guy with the
The
dad.
fly, the lie, and the die. The judge says no dismissal here. There's enough to go forward.
Right.
All right. So what we're talking about, listeners, we're talking about the federal lawsuit with Dominion against Powell, Lindell, and against the what's his name?
Giuliani.
Okay. I keep calling him the lie till I can't even remember his name. So the judge says, no, I'm not going to dismiss this case. A dismissal has been filed by those three defendants because Dominion filed a lawsuit against them stating that they defamed the company by going out and spreading rumors that the president of the company said that he could flip a switch. According to the allegations, Powell said that the president of Dominion said, I can flip a switch and change the votes just like that. So that was reckless. You cannot recklessly make defamatory statements,
Right.
statements you know to be false, or you cannot prove to be true.
Right.
And that's a problem for them. So now they have a problem. The case is not dismissed. The lawsuit's going forward. Diva, what you think?
I think she's an idiot. But that's what happens when you a prosecutor.
She's a former federal prosecutor.
Yes.
How
And
could
a
you
current-
believe she's an idiot? She has a
Listen.
law degree and a license.
She's a former prosecutor and a current idiot, okay? You can be one and the same. Listen, that's why I don't mess with I hate prosecutors.
You can't say
I don't
that. That's
hate.
such
Hate
harsh
is such a strong word. I am not a fan of prosecutors because prosecutors, they just,
All of them?
the ones I know.
Wait a minute now.
All I'm saying is,
I used to be on that side of
well, you came over to the lights. All I'm saying
So you
is,
don't like me either?
oh, I like you.
Oh.
So
So then
a
it's not
prosecutor has
all.
to prove
So
themselves.
not all prosecutors.
Not all, but the prosecutors have to prove themselves. That's why I have issues with Kamala. In my head I was thinking Mamala. I don't like Kamala. I don't like her.
Why
I
would
feel
you say
like
I don't like Kamala? You've
I-
never met the woman in person.
I don't like her
prosecutorial past.
Yes.
She was a former
I feel like
prosecutor.
her integrity is lacking. That's why I don't like
So
her.
you think her being the fact that she was a former prosecutor, you question her integrity?
I ain't question her because she went from a former prosecutor to a politician. So that's very questionable when it comes to integrity. And then what topped off the cake with the icing. I know you don't say it like that, but that's how I just
Top
say
your
it.
cake any way you like.
Top your cake with the icing, put a little sprinkle on it, is when she said that America is not a racist country. So it just tells me that your level of integrity
So
is wavering.
one little clip of
It's not
I
one.
didn't get to explain my whole story. You're
Oh,
gonna use that against
no.
her?
It would, listen.
My vice president? Why would
But
you do
moving
that?
on, she's just another example of a prosecutor that, to me, is I don't like prosecutors.
There are good prosecutors and there are bad prosecutors.
And
I
to
can tell
add
you
to
that.
that, I really don't like prosecutors because I remember when I was in court and a prosecutor came up with a whole explanation of how I was a conspirator in the death of my child. Like I went out to get an alibi. I don't like prosecutors because they can say whatever they want and not be held accountable. And when you don't have accountability, you lack integrity. You lack integrity.
Well, it could lead
To a lack of integrity.
lack of integrity.
What I
Because
feel is
I
that-
agree with you on certain. You know what? I'm gonna drink to that.
Yes.
I'm drink to that.
It's a little warm because we ain't drank all day.
Goodness. I didn't realize we were thirsty. We were so engulfed in the conversation.
And I just feel like when I say when you don't have accountability, I feel like if you're not accountable, and what that means
You can be
is
reckless. You can be reckless.
I feel like you will be reckless.
Yeah, you're telling the truth.
You
You're telling
will
the
be
truth.
reckless. If
You
you don't
telling the
have
truth.
any boundaries to do whatever you want, if I knew that I could do whatever I
Yeah,
want,
be some deadly stuff going on.
Woo! But I have the conviction of the spirits of
Is
the
that
Lord.
the liquor spirits or the Holy Spirit?
The Holy Spirit convicts me to be on point. So even
Just
when I
get the right spirit
do
now.
kind of waver, it be like, no,
It
ma'am.
brings you back in.
Bring back
you
in. Bring me in.
That's
why.
called upbringing. You were brought up
So
with.
you think she was brought up with no integrity?
I think she was brought up with integrity.
Who? Kamala?
I think Kamala was brought up with integrity. I believe she is a professional. I believe she is a good vice president.
You think she's a
I
follower?
believe
she's a follower?
I believe she's human.
You feel like she's a follower?
I wouldn't say she's a follower.
You feel like she won't stand on what's right when the odds are against her?
I don't think so. And let me tell you why.
You don't think that she would?
I don't think she would crumble. And the only reason I say that is because I watched one of her debates and I saw her go for Joe Biden in a way that I felt like if she were going to be a crumbler, she would have been afraid to make that statement. Because you know how you have some black women.
That's an opportunist.
No. You know you have some black people where I just don't want to offend. I mean, this is a white man, for God's sakes. He was former vice president. And I would say it, but I'm so afraid. I'm not going to say it.
So she called him pretty much a racist.
She did.
Right,
and
but
she
now
said,
you working for
when
the
you were
racist.
busing.
That's the integrity.
No. That's forgiveness.
Forgiveness.
That's to show you.
I want to be vice president.
No,
you
that's
really think
maturity. It takes maturity. Some people are so angry and bitter.
Okay,
Listen to me.
time.
Listen to me.
Listen to me.
Hold on
No,
before
don't
you
listen to
monologue.
her. Don't
Hold on
listen to
before you
her.
monologue.
This is what I'll be telling
All
y'all.
right, I'm gonna let her monologue.
This is
I'm gonna let her
what I mean.
monologue. And then I'm getting back to Kamala.
I know. She gonna wrap me
Okay.
all the way up. She
Okay.
gonna get me all together. But this is what I'm talking. When I say don't believe half of the things that we say, this is what I'm talking about. Marsha is a lawyer. She is good at what she does. She is amazing at what she does. She got me believing it. But in the back of my mind, my spirit man is like, don't believe that. Don't believe that. Marsha is speaking from who she is. Marsha don't crumble for nobody. Kamala will never get that much respect from me. I've seen this one in action where it didn't have to affect her. It don't have to affect her, and she did not crumble. Kamala would never get that respect from me. When the time came, you called out Joe Biden. Now you working for the racists because you want to be vice president, and that's fine, and you're an opportunist, and that's great.
No.
I'm not
I
finished with
wouldn't
my
say.
monologue.
Oh, you're not done yet?
You're
Well,
an opportunist, and that's
How long
great.
is this monologue going to?
You're an
Look, I'm gonna have to go King Jude. How long is it going to take? Have you ever seen
You're
that?
an opportunist, and that's great. It's amazing. Kudos to you. You're a great politician. When it was time to say that America has not been great, it has racist tendencies, and we need to stop racism. You said, America's not a racist country. In the back of your head, I need everybody in America to have the option to choose for me, so I'm going to make sure I choose my words carefully. That is not integrity.
She didn't choose them carefully, and that's why she said
Because she
that.
don't have integrity.
Listen, she does. What she did is
She talked about I was smoking weed, hanging out with Tupac, and then locking
Listen
people
to me.
up for smoking weed. No integrity.
I'm gonna tell you why she has integrity.
Go ahead.
Because she not only has integrity, she has the ability to forgive and move on. Let me tell you that.
When it's convenient.
Because think about it.
Give your monologue.
To feel like, let me give you my mind. To feel like you were a child who was bused, minority to majority, remember that? And to stand next to the gentleman who you believe played a role in that busing, and to express to him how it affected you as a child when you are in your 40s. That means it never left you. And to still not hold a grudge or bitterness to the place where you could still say, I accept the honor of being your vice president. Because I can put aside, my selfish anger and bitterness associated with what I think you did in your past that wronged me, and still look for what I can affect as it pertains to someone else, this country, other people, other women of color, other little girls who are coming behind me that could look at my position and say, I can be vice president. That's why I'm saying she should be respected.
Oh, she got the consolation prize of being vice president.
Do you know how many people are so bitter that they will do things even when it harms them?
That's because they're dumb.
No, ma'am. That's
That's
because they're
ignorance.
bitter.
I mean, my thing is that if I went off on Joe Biden and then he offered me vice president, if I was really like, I don't want to mess with Joe Biden because I think he's a racist, then I would be like, no. If I just said what I said just to get more points and go against Joe Biden, yeah, I'll be like, yes. But if I felt, if the Ku Klux Klan guy decided he was running for president and he wanted me to be on his team to get the vice president to get votes for the black people, I'm like, no, I'm not about to be your
Let
vice
me ask you a
president.
question.
That's
Have you ever heard of
stupid.
redemption? Miss, I have Christ in the spirit within me.
I do have
Now
Christ
we
in the
know what spirit she got.
No.
It was the one sold at the bottle store.
Listen, all I'm saying is that the thing is that
No,
discernment.
let me
is
tell you something.
key.
What you just said. If the president of the KKK who used to run that joker comes to me and says, I'm redeemed. I was wrong. I did some bad things in my time. But I
Who
found
said
out
that conversation happened?
No,
if
no,
the
no,
conversation
no.
happened, that might be different. But I don't believe that
Who
conversation
said it
happened.
didn't?
These are politicians.
No.
These
listen
are
to
not.
me.
These are
But they're
not.
human. Let me tell you something. You're a human being first. Come on now. Joe Biden could have had a meeting with her
So
prior to selecting her.
no, I got
Because remember
you. I'm
now,
about to back her up.
remember now, he interviewed a lot of black women.
Mhm.
Okay? And I am certain they had a meeting and he said to her, let's clear the air. First of all, I must say from the bottom of my heart, I have the most sincere apology. As a politician, when I think about, and I didn't think about it then, years when you were a little girl, what my actions were.
Because I didn't want you in my racial.
Hey, because I didn't.
Jungle.
That's what I was taught. I was taught that. And I grew up with what I was taught. Just like how when you taught morals, you grow up and you do moral things. Just like when you taught immoral things, you do immoral things.
Right.
Just like when your parents lie about being sick to go to work, you lie about being sick to go to school. Okay? You learn from that. And you have to grow. You have to change. You must evolve. Nothing stays the same. Even the earth we're sitting on as we do this show is revolving.
Right.
You must grow. And you're saying to me that you don't believe a human being, forget the politician piece, because we become politicians. We are not born politicians. We're born human. Cannot evolve, and change their position, because only a damn fool does not change their position in the face of new evidence.
So if I say no, then I'm a damn fool. No, I do agree with that. I do agree with that.
Drink to me then.
Okay. But if
Wait, because I want my drink to be peaceful.
So, if Trump comes to you and says the exact same thing, that he apologized and all this stuff, and he wants you to be vice president, you doing it?
I say I'll be your president.
But no. But let's say that you were running and let's say you were running on the Democrat side, he was running on the Republican side, but he thought you did such a great job and that you spoke to the heart of the people, and he won, and he wanted you to be vice president, and he came to you and said, through your campaigning, I realized the error in my ways, and I want you to be my vice president. I think that you would probably be the best next president, and I need you to be that person. But I'm here, and I'll make sure that I'll create a path for you to be next.
Sir,
You're
there would
making
be
that
some.
sound like a good thing, because last vice president, that was a death sentence. Just saying.
Yes, it was.
I'm just saying he changed
Yes,
his
it was.
ways. He changed. People can change, but you be a damn fool
To not
to
change in the
not
face
change.
of new
in
evidence.
the face of new
So
evidence.
he's changed.
And he apologized.
He's not the Kofifi he was
He
4 years
apologizes.
ago. He apologized for his conduct.
But the only
And-
thing you know of is that short term of him telling you that he changed.
That's all I got. It's
That's
just
all
him
you got.
saying his word.
His word.
I'm his vice president running mate.
Okay. Well then let's shut the show down. We good.
Hey,
The end of the show is near.
hey, I'm his vice
All
president.
right, then I respect that.
I'm his vice president because I can make a difference for people, not just for myself.
Okay.
And I would take advantage of that any day.
That's what's
so.
up.
That's episode 17 on Diva.
There it is.
Close with the positive. Marcia for vice president.
For vice
We'll drink to
president.
that. Take a sip. Put it back. Now don't forget to find us on YouTube. We push out an episode every week. Wednesdays is when we come out.
Yes.
Join us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts.
Apple. You know we had a sponsor that we didn't talk about.
Oh, what about? Oh, Hey Curl. We can't close the show without Hey Curl.
Hey Curl, hey.
Please remember Hey Curl. They are fantastic products.
Yes.
Look how young and beautiful and vibrant these braids look today.
There
Don't
it
you like
is.
that look?
Yes.
That
The
leave-in
slick.
conditioner. Don't forget our sponsor is still giving out free samples. You better hurry up because you can't beat free. I know you want to negotiate it, but you don't have to. The code is Diva Free.
Yes.
Enter it. Go to heycurl.shop
Or
and
just-
get your products.
They can click the link in the description.
Or just click your link. Click the link.
Click.
the link. We're making it real easy for you to get these free products, listeners. So don't forget heycurl.shop and our sponsors. And that's episode 17. And we will drink to that. woke up to that.
It's gone. It's gone. She gone.
I guess that's your bump. We got to drink to that.
Can I take my shoes off now?
Damn, you ain't even walking in the